Hey Whiskers, Kimonie here, the face behind Golden Whisk, and welcome to my YouTube channel. That was so delayed, it's like I forgot what to say. I'm so hyper, right? You know, enough of me chatting. You know what to do. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, you know, tell me how much you love the video, because I know you're gonna love the video. Tell me how cute I look today, because I know I look cute. You know, if you guys want to see how I turned this cake into this cake, yeah, I actually did that, then keep on watching. But before we get there, I know you probably think, Kimonie, where you get that cake from in the first place? So let me explain. You know, this comes with a little story.
So this cake was done for Alice's birthday. Well, technically both were. So I was planning to make him a cake, right? Because why wouldn't I? I think at this point, my family and friends expect cakes for their birthdays, even like if they don't ask and I don't offer, and even if I'm getting them a gift, they still expect a cake. So I was going to make him a cake. Either way, this whole week leading up to his birthday, I wasn't feeling well. Either way, I got a little save, or I thought so. There's this bakery, and I won't call the name of the bakery, of course, but there's this bakery, and he buys bread there like every week, twice per week sometimes. Person who bakes the cake for them at the bakery says, I'm gonna bake you a cake. So he said, okay, I have a baker at home, but okay, since you offered, you know, when people offer you things, you don't have to say no, if you don't want it. So he said, okay, no problem. So the person made him the cake. You know, he went to collect the cake the night. She didn't bake it at the bakery, she baked it at home because she also has a cake business. Yeah, so she baked the cake. I wasn't feeling well, as I said before, so I was in bed the entire time. When I woke up in the night to get food, he was like, oh, I got a cake. So I'm like, yeah, really? Now, of course, I'm excited to see somebody else's work, because I'm like, you know, yeah. So I went and I opened the box and I'm like, first of all, the cake is fine, but I feel like people are going to ask me, where's your birthday cake? Or ask him, where's your birthday cake? And then you can't show this, because I'm gonna just assume, say, a Golden Whisk made the cake. And I don't like that. I wasn't trying to like make it sound bad. I was just saying, you know, people are going to expect this. Weirdly, the morning of his birthday, like 3 people called him and was like, where's the Golden Whisk birthday cake? And I'm like, see this? Like, you see this? He was like, should I bake my cake and whatever. And it sounded bad without you explaining why I'm never bake a cake. So even though I wasn't feeling well, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to revamp, redo, remake, redecorate. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm going to redo this cake. So yeah, he was in and out of the house. I was trying to surprise him, but as you can see, the cake that I chose to do was a little bit complicated, and so it took me a quick minute to actually get it done. So yeah, enough rambling. Enough rambling. This is like 6 minutes of chatting, so maybe just, yeah. He got a cake for his birthday. I didn't like how it looked. I decided to remake it. This is how it looked before, and this is how it looked now, and everybody did happy. He has always wanted a G-Wagon. This is the only one I can afford to give to him. So, you know, let's get into the cake, into the video. Well, already into the video, so yeah, let's get into the other part of the video with the cake, the part you're actually here to see. I'm sure you'll never hear the story. So yeah, let's do this.
The cake looked like starting out. It's a 2-tier cake. So I started off by taking off the fruit filling that was on top, the coconut flakes that were around the sides first, and then I started taking off the frosting that was around the side. Now I didn't like this frosting because it was shortening based and not butter, and I don't like that because I don't use that. But yeah, took that off, put it one side, and then I started carving. So at first I had to turn the round cakes into rectangles because, I mean, it's a vehicle. So I did that first. I cut the bottom and then I cut the top a little shorter than, you know, yeah. And if you see me looking to the side, that's because I have pictures and videos and all those stuff using as reference. So I had pictures of the vehicle from different angles, and yeah, a video giving me like a 360 and all of that. So I just went to town with my carving knife and I started cutting out details as much as I could. So yeah, I cut out the spaces for the lights at the front, where the grill would be, on top of the bonnet where you'd have like some little details. I cut out those as well. It's very important to make all the cuts that you need to see in the final product at this point, even though you're going to cover it afterwards, because that makes it easier for you to cover as opposed to adding details later and then it might not seem as smooth and all of that. Either way, so I realized after that the back of my van wasn't as long as I wanted it to be, and so I just, the side of the, alright, so you have the round and I cut off the sides in order to make it into a rectangular kind of thing. So the sides of the round cake that was cut off before, that's what I used at the back. Now I couldn't use the vanilla one because, as I said before, the vanilla one was way smaller, so the vanilla was a 7-inch, so I didn't cut off much. So I used the chocolate to the back to, you know, give it like a bit more length. Then I just covered it, you know, this is called a crumb coat, as you already know. I used the same shortening madness that was used before because I was doing a whole remake, so I didn't want to go and make icing even though I had. So I just used that because the shortening was already on the outside of the cake anyway, so it would have probably tasted weird. And then I covered with fondant. Now, as you can see, this is a grayish purplish tone fondant. I don't know why I never have black fondant at home, you know, but either way, I wanted a black vehicle, as you will see, well, as you would have seen from the thumbnail, but I didn't have black, so I had this grayish purplish tone that I dyed myself. It's the same thing that was used for the camera cake, if you remember. That link will be right here. So you can just press the iCard to watch that camera video as well. Either way, so I just covered it and I'm going to spray it in the end to get it black. If you have black fondant, then by all means just do that. I mean, you know, save yourself some time from having to dye the whatever. But yeah, as I said, this was kind of like a last minute thing, and I would have to order the black fondant because I don't have it sold near me, and that will take me a couple days to get it, or I would have to drive to, yeah, couldn't be bothered. So yeah, I started using a mixture of a balling tool, fondant, multiple fondant tools, and I also had a ruler. I had my scraper, like the bench scraper cake smoother thing. I don't know what you call it, all of them are the same thing. And I just started going to town, you know, I started adding the details, started carving out the windows and all of that. As I said before, I'm just looking at the reference video that I have and the reference pictures, try and get it as, watch my internet. Try and get it as close to the actual thing as I could. You can actually see in the video, so I'm just trying to replicate everything I see. Yeah, so that's at the front part where there's like the grill thing. I just cut a rectangular piece, and then of course I'm using water to attach it, because that's all we really need for fondant. Right here I used my fondant extruder, and I just made a ribbon, not a ribbon, like a rope, I don't know if I call it. So I just lined that around the top because I wanted it to be more blunt. Now I'm using a few different cookie cutters, round cookie cutters, to make the tire outline thing. So I used two different kinds, right? So one small one to show the size of the tire, and then if you look closely, there is a line thing that goes over each tire. I don't know how to explain it, but there's like a, I'm gonna say awning, but it's not awning because I'm in a house. There's that. So I used a bigger one, I think 2 sizes up, to mark that part so that I know where to put that awning thing. I don't know if you call it, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I did for that. My fondant was a little bit soft at this point because one, it was colored, so the consistency is different. Two, it was worked a whole lot, so it's, yeah. But you shouldn't have this problem. I just actually used the fondant smoothers at the side where there was a belly kind of thing, and it set in that position. Either way, that's not very important right now. So that's what I did for that part. At this point, I'm just spraying it. The only thing I have in my airbrush is some black gel food coloring and some vodka, or you can use lemon extract, any clear grade alcohol, any clear extract or high grade food alcohol can work. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I have the box that it came in at the back so that I don't actually paint the wall, and yeah, I'm just being careful, and I have it on my turntable so I can just turn it around and spray the parts that I need. So I'm spraying every single part of the cake at this point because it's a black car. So yeah, you could leave the spray until the end, but I wanted to add a few details that weren't black so that it would seem more like a vehicle, because at this part, at this point, it just looked dead. I don't know if I'm here alone, but it kind of just looked dead. So the gray, light gray fondant details that I'll add afterwards will actually give it a little, oomph. Now, this is the fondant smoother that I was saying I have at the sides, so that it kind of holds up the awning thing. Still don't know if it got it. So the awning thing goes like this over the tire, and then down where the door would be, and then over the other tire, right? So the part where the door would be, there was a belly because it was so low. So I just had the fondant smoothers there to hold it in place while it dried. Yeah, so as I said before, I'm just using some really light gray fondant to add some details. So I added the lights, I added the grills, lights at the front, lights at the back. What else did I add? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just using some, and then some details in the tire, but whenever you just say it, so let's not rush it. So as you can see, I'm just cutting the details based on what I see from the pictures I had on my laptop, which is right in the corner of the screen. Well, you won't see because I'm currently over it, the voiceover section. So yeah, I just added those. I didn't need to add any water when I was adding these details though, because the cake was a little bit wet still from the airbrush. And you probably wonder why gray, Kimonie. That's because I'm going to paint it silver afterwards, and gray is a good base for silver because it's so, well, technically, like an artist would tell you, oh, silver is not a color, it's a mineral, but all colors are gray. You just have shiny gray, and that's what you call silver. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm adding a light gray color, and then I'm gonna add the silver luster dust mixed with food grade alcohol over top. So this is what the front looks like. I'm just adding some more details, and then I added the mirrors. Why do I not know the parts of a car at this point? I'm adding the mirrors. So I just added the the grayish color fondant, made it into the shape, added a toothpick on each side, well, half of a toothpick, and then stuck it in. If you're doing this for a customer, then you know you have to tell them that, okay, there's toothpick there and whatever, don't eat it. Safety. So I just did that, and then I had to spray it over because it was gray, obviously. As you can see at the back, I added the lights there. So I have a gray light, which will be silver, and I have a red light, which will stay red. This is why I didn't spray the cake at this point, because I wanted to have the lighter details to make it more, in your face. So the tires, at this video, I guess you have to kind of watch and see what I did. So I had some different shape cutouts, different size cutters. So I had one flat piece that was like the back part of the tire. that would rest against the vehicle itself, and then I had a thicker piece that was glued on top with water, and the center of that was cut out using a smaller cookie cutter. I think I actually used a piping tip for that part. And then there was like the X thing, which would have been like the rims. So the X thing, which I freehanded, and that was a lighter shade gray, because you know the rims normally is silver or whatever. Is yeah. So that's what I did. So that's me cutting out the X part of the rims. So, you know, you have the circle and then you have the cutout, kind of like more not a screw. What's that? A nut? That's not a nut. What is it called? You know me I talk. I don't know tools, people. But yeah. Either way, so I just put those together. Well, I put the parts that were going to be black together, and the silver part was put aside. Put those in the oven to dry. A little trick, if you have a dehydrator, you can do that as well. And then I sprayed them at the end, and you know, great stuff. Now I'm adding more black fondant strip to the parts that I felt like needed to be a little bit more defined. So like around the mirror, the front and the back. As you can see, I'm doing the back right now, and the same thing that I did to the top, and then I'm just going to smooth it out to make it not seem like I have piping around it, but like it actually came to an intersection. That makes sense? So I'm just kind of smooth it out and then spray it so that it's black and kind of like mix in with the rest of it. So yeah, as you can see on the on the parchment paper, those were spray painted afterwards and then assembled. I didn't put that part in because I mean, I think it was self-explanatory. Now I added the name of the vehicle on a ribbon at the side, and I added the little tire thing at the back, and this is the finished product, guys. And that is Ali cutting his cake, and he was so shocked. He was like, because I literally had them locked out of the kitchen the whole day. I didn't want anybody seeing it, so he was like, wow, like, can you see his face? I was so pleased. Like, remember, we're coming from this, guys. We're coming from this, and now we have this. Like, who wouldn't be pleased? So that's him cutting into his cake, and this is me being so proud, even, you know, a quick minute later. So yeah, this is what the cake looked like on the inside. Hold on, give him a minute to cut it. So he still needs a minute. There we go. That's what the cake looked like on the inside, and yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, then don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to come look over here, because Kimonie that make all sorts of things and should have worked miracle and all sorts of something. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you want to challenge me to do, you know, some makeover or something, like maybe turn a supermarket cake into a wedding cake or something, I don't know, I just love challenges. Like, I just love them. And I love you guys, so I'll do anything for y'all. So if you want to see more cakes like these, or you want to see other stuff, then don't leave me hanging. Like, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what part of this was your favorite. Let me know what brought you here. Let me know everything. I want to know everything. So you guys can find me on Instagram at Golden Whisk Ja. And yeah, that's enough talking for now. I will see you guys in our next video, which will be next week Wednesday at 2 p.m. Same place here, right here. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching, and until then, stay golden.